It's been a singular honor to present my experiences from the battlefield in front of you so that you derive those lessons which make you grow as a person, as a human being, and as an individual, and make this nation a proud nation by serving it better. So, the first of all thing which I will try to tell you is about a word name as gratitude. Gratitude towards life, gratitude towards living. You must thank yourself every day when you get up in the morning that you are alive and you have a mission or a aim in life which you are going for. It was the year in 2003. I was a young lieutenant operating in the Kashmir Valley in the South Kashmir with my two squads. A squad is the single smallest unit of the Special Forces unit. It consists of 6 individuals, all trained for extensive combat, basic life support, navigation, weapon specialists, and explosive experts. It's a team in itself. I was leading those squad. I was one of the squad commanders, and other was led by a JCO. We had got input in South Kashmir. Why I'm telling you this is you need to understand that moments, there will be decisions which change your life. And there will be brothers who will never leave your side. Okay? So, we were there in the house, 2 houses. One squad went to search for the one house. The second squad, because we were having paucity of time, we didn't have that kind of luxury of having a larger force to cordon the houses. So we went with 2 squads. Self went to the first if you see the demography of that village, so these 2 houses were on the fringes. That is the outside of just the last few houses in a village. So one squad went for the house which was on the north. I went towards the southern side. Once I reached the house, the owner of the house told me that there are 2 guys inside. Whatever resources which we had, we employed an inner cordon and we cordoned off the house. It was a month of June, around approximately 6:30 in the morning. The 6 guys, if you look at it, the topography of a village, in J&K, if you see, in a built-up area where there are a lot of houses, if you cover one house, you need to cover the neighboring house also. With 6 guys, it becomes really difficult. So whatever resources I had, we conducted the search. While we were doing this and were placing my guys and coming back to where I was supposed to be, one opened the window, the other guy started opening. I retaliated them. I had a boundary wall in up front of me, so I could take cover. I engaged. They jumped out of the window and they started moving. In the meantime, when I retaliated back, they changed direction and moved where my buddy was there, around 10-15 feet away from me, behind a tree. And once my primary arc of firing went towards this side, I need to stop only because I didn't want to hit my buddy. But the firing was not coming. I went over there and then next moment I could see there was a field, then a stream, and then the village was over. So I went over there and saw, so my buddy was shot. He was wearing a BP patka, which we call it. At that time, there was no ballistic helmets. And he was wearing a bulletproof jacket also. His age was 22 years. The other guy who was standing over there, he turned his back because everyone was covering each other. There was not much of manpower. This happens only in 7 seconds. 7 to 8 seconds, this whole act happened, finished. And that is the end of a life. A bread earner for a family. A person who was married a month back, his wife waiting back home. A brother to a sister. A son to parents. Last night, before the operation, he had prepared, he used to put, what do you call, दाल में हम लोग तड़का लगाते थे, तो he was my buddy, so he prepared it for me he had got desi ghee from his hometown. So he prepared that for me. We used to sleep in operations during rain, snow, every day of our lives together in the same sleeping bag. I was not close to my real brother that I was close to this man. Why I'm telling you this is that guy lost his life. I, as a commander of that squad, of that troop which was there, it appeared to me my life has ended. I've lost men in actual combat, in streets, in stone peltings, on a mountaintop. One thing which you should never forget is this: life is precious. Have gratitude. I've spent 20 and a half years in the army. I've been in special forces in 18 and a half years of those life. 12 to 13 years have been in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, seeing intense combat every single day of our lives. Why I say so is kindly have gratitude that God has given you this great life. Don't end it for frivolous and reasons which are better known to you. The point which needs to be understood is that we need to practice, we need to be ready on that occasion to deliver the best. Coming on to the next point, the why, this thing, which I showed you the video. This is American Special Forces. Green Berets, I've done joint exercises with them. It is their video, but it resonates across the special forces on the world. When I was a young person like you, sitting in the crowd like this, 18, 19 years, 20, 21 years of age, I knew the why of my life. You must know the why of your life. It is not necessary that it is the why of your father, mother, brother, sister. It has to be your why. Why I survived those 28 years, 20 years in the army? Because I knew the why. I never wanted a normal job. I knew I could never sit in front of a laptop and do things. I wanted to climb mountains. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to see the combat of the highest order. And I knew I'm a fourth generation in the army. My great grandfather and grandfather were in the British Army. My father was an army officer who has participated in 65 and 71 war. I'm the fourth generation. Business of war runs in my veins and blood. But what I'm trying to say is I always wanted this life. You as people, the derivative is that you must know the why of your life. If you want to become an engineer, go for it. Don't think about it. If you want to become a doctor, go for it. You want to become an educationist, kindly go for it. You want to become an actor, rock star, whatever, do it. But do at the know your why. Don't, because I conduct so many personality development sessions, and 5-6 years down the line, people say we don't understand what we are going to do. I didn't want to do this job. I asked them why. Well, my father was an engineer, so I became one. No. Before I end this talk, I will give you a reason. My father never wanted me to be in special forces. We all come from infantry, climbing mountains. My two sisters, both are married to army officers. One is from the Kumaon Regiment, one is a serving major general in the special forces. As a father, he never wanted his son to climb and to have a difficult life. He wanted me to go to logistics and communications in the army, whereas I wanted combat. In 2018, during a training exercise with my team in Jaisalmer, I was a colonel. I fractured my ankle from two places. I had a heart form jumping from a American-made C-130 aircraft. It was a night jump and I fractured myself. So during all these years, I was never with my family. So I called my parents back home. My father passed away 3 months after this incident. So once in the evening, I used to go to the office. I was sitting over there. My father comes to me in my office. And he tells me that wish I had also volunteered for special forces. 18 years back, he was hell-bent on not letting me join the special forces. 18 years later, he changed and he said that he should have also joined. He was from the Jammu and Kashmir Rifle. What I'm trying to say is, find your why. Don't grope in the dark. Find your why. Do the things which you want to do. Third point, tradecraft. What you see in movies is not even 0.1% what happens actual on ground. It's not that. You don't sleep even for a single minute in a night for 6 months, 5 months straight. It is not what you see in movies that you hang your legs outside a chopper or a helo and just go and extricate people. It doesn't happen like that. You have to work on your trade craft. You need to work hard in your life. There is no shortcut to hard works. There is nothing. Nobody was in Mother Earth. I've all my life, I've dealt with high performance individuals. A special forces training process is the most difficult thing known to man. There's no rest. A body performs at its optimum when it gets rest, nutrition, and everything. In special forces, they take you out of everything. They make you run 150 kilometers and give you 1 hour of sleep. They don't give you food in proper, make you survive in cold heights. That is where your will comes to power. It is never and never about the legs. It is about the heart and the mind. With a large heart and a strong mind, you can turn mountains. I've seen it. And I happen to do 3 such probations in the Indian Army. I'm the only officer. My first probation, I was not able to clear it. My second probation, I cleared it. Went back to another unit. Again did the third probation. It's not easy. For a normal human being, if he sees 1 day of special forces probation, it is like 1 year for you guys. I'm not boasting of it. But what I'm trying to tell you is you need to work hard. If you work hard in life as students, as an entrepreneur, as an engineer, as a professor, or anyone, you will do wonders. So, make an endeavor to work hard in life. There is no limits. I have not seen guys dying of hard work. When we practice those 10,000 rounds, when we shoot those 10,000 rounds, the eyes become black. You know why? Because when the moving parts inside a weapon move, smoke is generated and it keeps on getting inside your eyes. It becomes black. So many rounds are fired. It requires effort. Kindly do a lot of effort, lots and lots of practice, lots and lots of hard work. It's imperative for you. Don't be in a misnomer that your dreams will come easy. Please be aware, setbacks and failures. I joined the army. I was a hardcore army. I wanted to become a cricketer. I couldn't become one. That's okay. But I joined the army in third attempt. I cleared my SSB in the third attempt. I joined the special forces. I did 3 probations. Every day of my life, I fail. Every day of my life, I fail. Minimum 2-3 times a day. As an entrepreneur, as a person, as a fitness enthusiast, as a person who's doing something new in life, I fail every day. Kindly take setbacks and failures in your life. It's imperative. It's necessary. They are the foundations to success. You will not get anything without failures. There's only 0.1% of people who get everything in the first go. Nobody happens. I speak to bureaucrats. I speak to IS officers, IPS officers. 3 attempts it requires to clear the UPSC. They say, I've not been there. It requires hard work. And lastly, because you are the future generation, you are the future leaders, I address you as future leaders. It is your moral responsibility to give it back to this nation. It is not the singular dream of the Honorable Prime Minister of India to make this nation a developed nation by 2047. Every one of us who sits over here in this auditorium and who listens back and wherever he wants to listen, we have to give it back to the nation. We need to contribute as a teacher, as an entrepreneur, as a soldier, as a student, everybody. You may go to Harvard, you may go to MIT, study over there, come back. Ensure that you do a startup which gives jobs back to people back in India. I've seen London. I was there. I've served over there. I've seen the special forces of the world. I've traveled all continents. I'm telling you, this is the greatest nation. And it is a moral responsibility It is a moral responsibility to give it back. This is what there is no way in the Special Forces book. It is by previous generation of Special Forces guys. They tell us how to tie a lace, where the secondary weapon has to go, how the magazines have to be put, how the communication is to be done, what is to be done on a rainy night. So the fourth year students have to give back that knowledge to the first year students. Third year gives back to the second year. That is how tradecraft grows. That is how you prosper. You don't keep the knowledge to yourself. Give it back. It is imperative. You give it back. That is how. And finally, I finish with my time. I would like to thank you all for having a patient hearing. And the last point which I said, we need to make this great nation the greatest nation on earth. For that, we need to work hard as a country, as all citizens. And I would like that whatever endeavors you do in life, wherever you are, kindly contribute back. Thanks a lot. I have nothing more else to say. Thanks for a patient hearing. God bless you all.